Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick with CBT News, and we're here live at the 2025 NADA show in New Orleans, and I'm joined by Ken Hill, who is the managing director at 700Credit. That is a company I know that you know. They are doing incredible things for dealers, and not just for dealers, but also for those vendors that are supporting dealers, right, in the area of finance.
Yes, that's one of the strengths of our business is our partnerships.
Sure.
And our relationships and our integrations that make things easier.
That's right.
For dealers.
That's right.
For dealers.
Yeah,
so,
you guys are kind of like a household name in the auto industry over the years,
I
right?
consider that a compliment. That means my BD team, marketing team are doing well. So,
that's right.
Thank you.
Talk to me about the importance of storied information and a digital deal jacket versus the paper deal jackets that I used to use when I was in the car business.
Well,
and
I like that you use the word used to use.
Used to use, right.
But,
right. Are they still using them? Are there dealers that use them?
I think
That's
we
crazy.
Did a survey and it's over 50%.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
wow.
I think at a point in time, we will look back at the paper deal jacket. Right?
Yes. And laugh.
And laugh.
That's right. That's right.
And laugh at how we made photocopies of driver's licenses. And
we leave like 17 on the copier to get the right
that's
one.
Right.
And the next person would come up and go, what is this?
And my old boss used to tell stories when he worked in a dealership and how they would catch their salesmen selling things out the back door, copies of driver's licenses.
Yes. Wow.
Credit applications.
That's a rough neighborhood he was in.
Well,
but it does happen.
Right. And they were selling them, and that was the source of identity theft.
That's right.
So,
and now they do it through this.
Yeah.
They just take a picture, and they don't even have to go to the back door anymore, right?
Yeah. I think I told you this story before, but we recently bought a car, and the sales rep at the delership said, text me images of your driver's license.
That's right, you did.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. We had some comments on that. We ran the story.
Oh, really?
And it was like, wow, that is amazing.
Email requests for images of driver's licenses.
Right.
Those are things that have to be things of the past.
Yeah, there's no question about it. In 2023 alone, there was $8 billion in financial losses due to fraud, right? And talk to me about that. Dealers really need to learn how to protect their dealership from identity theft. And I think in so many cases, as a former dealer myself, we had 200 employees. You have 200 different liabilities running around out there, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
And as there's always a rogue, right?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
800 billion is an old number, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned the word identity theft. And identity theft actually is curtailing, but what's skyrocketing that number is synthetic fraud.
Okay.
Right, which is different than identity theft.
Okay.
Synthetic fraud is an actual identity created, right, at the credit bureaus and then built upon over 2 years, the synthetic identity.
So you mean that the person starts to puts the seed in the ground 2 years prior and cultivates this file as if it's a human being.
Yes.
And it's not a human being.
No, and they're very patient.
Right. They've got farms probably where whatever's coming due this year started 2 years ago.
Yeah, and the identity theft rings that are being busted are multiple people with multiple synthetic identities.
And maybe offshore. I mean, so you can't even really...
Possibly. Possibly.
Yeah.
But they create that synthetic identity at the credit bureau by filling out a credit application online with maybe a real Social Security number, but falsified information, name, address.
Right.
And then they pay a partner to add them as an authorized user to one of their credit cards. And
wow.
Once that authorized user is right, they add the synthetic identity to as an authorized user to their credit card. The synthetic identity inherits all the payment history and payment patterns of the real person. So that starts the file.
Right.
They add credit cards, and they're very patient, right? They increase their credit lines.
So when they hit big.
Well, the bust out.
Right. Oh, it's called the bust out?
It's called the bust out.
Hey, wow.
And when they're ready to bust out, right, and unfortunately for our industry, automotive is the key target for the bust out.
Oh, I bet.
Right? 'Cause they're getting ready to walk away.
Yep.
And right before they walk away, they max their credit lines, right? And then they purchase vehicles. And vehicles, right? Not
multiple
vehicles. A couple of fraudsters have been busted, and there was 2 or 3 cars in the lot down the road where they just purchased.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And then they walk away.
Yeah, for sure.
So
For sure.
It's unfortunate for our industry.
Yeah, we talked about the dealers that rely on photocopying, capturing text through, with customer driver's license. Is it time to take the NPI out of the hands of the sales team and use secure driver's license scanning technology to capture the information? I mean, and validate it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, that's a start. Right?
Yeah.
Is taking driver's licenses and capturing them and getting them into your electronic deal jacket.
Yeah.
With minimal third parties having access to it.
Right.
The latest technology, right, is you send a link to the consumer. The consumer takes pictures of their driver's license on their own phone, on a web service. The web service takes those images, validates them, and puts them right in the deal jacket. So
nice, very nice. It's all secure.
All secure.
That's nice.
Not touched
by
any of the sales reps, or anyone in the dealership.
Sure.
And then you can limit the personnel that have access to those.
I had a dealer that I spoke to that said that they had a break-in at their dealership. I said, how many cars did you lose? We didn't lose cars. They went right for the files of the deal jackets, where, you go into a dealership and it's all alphabetized. You open up the file and you've got literally hundreds of those paper deal jackets sitting there with everything in them. Credit applications, copy of driver's license, security cards, everything. So I'm like, that's what they wanted. They didn't want the new car or the parts. They wanted that. It's probably more valuable, right?
Yeah. You can sell that to the fraudsters, right?
That's right.
And then you have identity theft.
That's right. And from a compliance standpoint, this is a whole nother. I mean, we could be here for the next 2 hours talking about why dealers need to do this, just from a compliance standpoint, right? To be legal.
Well, the safeguards regulation. You're supposed to audit and inventory everywhere where you capture a consumer's name and address.
Can I tell you how many times that's happened in a dealership?
Yeah.
0.
Right? Well, I think education and awareness has been improving, and I think it starts with the big dealer groups.
Sure, it does. And they've got the most to lose, right?
Yeah, and their target, they feel as though they're targets because they're biggest, so they tend to put the right safeguards in place and put people in place to manage it.
Of course.
But
those are the ones that make the headlines that, if a dealer doesn't take care of a consumer's information and data, and it gets in the wrong hands, that's where it says AutoNation is, guilty of or any of the, not to say AutoNation because they do a great job, but any big publicly traded company or what have you, right? I mean, no dealer wants that because everybody goes, I'm not going to go there to buy a car. Right. Why? The price is too high? No, they'll give your information away, right?
And also lawsuits, right?
Lawsuits, big time.
Some of the lawsuits that we come across, but they target big deals.
Is it important that dealers take a fraud-first strategy to protect dealers' sophisticated types?
That's our new word.
Yeah.
We used to be.
I love it.
700Credit used to be credit first with pre-qualification, soft pulls, and getting credit into the top of the sales funnel so you can have consumer can have a better sales experience.
Right.
And then we changed it last year to fraud first.
Okay.
Right? Before you can do credit, you need to verify the identity.
That's right.
And the higher that you put fraud protection into that sales funnel, right, the lesser your gaps are for being exposed to fraud.
That's right. I can't tell you how many cars I sold back in the 80s and 90s, when I first got into the business. And I didn't have a picture of the driver's license. We didn't need it back then to take a demo or what have you, and we'd sell the car. I'm not kidding. And we'd say, well, where's the driver's license? Oh, they're going to bring it back to us. Could you imagine today if somebody said that, right?
No.
They're going to bring it back to you.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Right. Or a test drive.
Or a test drive.
On a
there
test
you go.
Drive and,
right. Do you have a driver's license? No.
I can just see the sales rep standing in the lot.
waiting. Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you're having a great time, or a great show here at NADA. Talk to me a little bit about that.
It's I would say it's great in different ways.
Yeah.
It's quality versus quantity.
Right.
People have more time to sit down and have better conversations.
That's true.
And we've had some great conversations with our partners. And with our customers,
that's great.
Potential customers.
Yeah.
So it's been a great show from that.
That's great. That's great.
Also, I think it's been a much more relaxed atmosphere in our booth.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine one of the dealers that went over to your booth and spent some time over there, had a chance to catch up with here. And they said, man, I left there and I went, wow, I didn't know what I didn't know. Okay. And when you guys blew them away, because they were like, oh my gosh, we got to run back to our dealership today and get you guys on the phone and get you in there, because they felt as though we suffer from a lot of the problems that you told them about. Well, do you find that to be the case with a lot of dealers?
That's a compliment, so thank you. Yeah. I think education, awareness.
Right.
That's important. That's what we try to do. I think that's important for sales, but also moving the needle. Right?
No question about it.
Educate in order to get
that's right.
dealers aware of what their exposures are.
No question about it.
What else is happening out there.
Yeah.
I think that's why dealers come too, right?
No question.
And the ones that are here to be educated.
Yeah,
for sure. Are here to learn and find good partners.
That's right. That's right. And you are a good partner. 700Credit is the company. If you're out here, check them out. You're going to do yourself a big favor. And, we talk about net profits in the business. We talk about gross profits and sales. But you can give it all away with a few lawsuits that hit because of something so simple as protecting your consumers' information and data. You all know that we live in a data world, and we all talk about selling cars and saying, oh, we have first-party data. We're going to market to these people. Great. But when that customer comes in, what are you doing with that data, and how are you protecting it? So if you have 100 salespeople, you have 100 people out there, you have service writers, you've got everybody connecting with consumers. Do they know what's going on? Do you know what they're doing each and every day? Call 700Credit. They'll give you the whole deal on it. I'm telling you, you can thank me later. So Ken Hill, Managing Director, 700Credit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, great.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.